Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 212 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, a.k.a. the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. There you find yourself. It's Thursday morning, almost a weekend, but so far away. You're in the parking lot. You're at your local coffee shop. It's not your coffee shop, but it is your coffee shop. You're not employed. You actually don't know any of the employees, but you go there every morning for your cup of joe because you're an addict to the caffeine, to the bean juice. You need it to get rid of those bags under your eyes because you're in your early 40s, and those bags are not going away, even with the bean juice, but you're addicted. So you go to the coffee shop every day and waste $6.77 on a black 20-ounce coffee. And you're there in the parking lot. It's not a big parking lot. This is not Walmart. This is a local coffee shop. So you can probably fit about 20 cars total. Of course, the parking lot is packed because it is a high 30s, which is good weather for this time of the year, and people are chipper. And you're there. You park your car. You back it in because you're a man, right? And you have low time preference, or maybe it's high time preference. But you back in. It's a 2011 Camry, dark blue. That's an odd model. B-Man, very specific. Why is such a specific model you choose there? I don't know. Maybe that's what I drive. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Yes, it is. And you're missing a hubcap, a driver's side, front tire, and it's been missing for years. But when you went to the dealership and you asked them, hey, how much would a new hubcap on this 2011 Camry? How much would that cost to replace, to get a new one? To replace the one that fell off, and I don't know where it is on the road so many years ago. And they told you it'd be $375. Now, you made the conscious economic decision not to get a hubcap because, again, the hubcap is just a hubcap. This is not you're not missing a wheel. It's only a hubcap. You could drive without a hubcap. And you tell your neighbor who's a drug addict, or it was at the time, and he tells you, I could get you a hubcap. We'll go Facebook Marketplace. We go to Walmart, second reference to Walmart this episode, or maybe some other store. And I know a guy. Of course he knows a guy because he does drugs. And if you do drugs to the point of addiction, you know people who can get hubcaps. And he tells you he could get you one for $75. And you think about it, but not too much because, again, your neighbor, the people he knows are not upstanding citizens, or at least the ones you've seen around him on his property. So you decide, you know what? I'm just going to drive this car for the 8 years without that hubcap. But it gives the car character, similar to jeans with rips in them. Not you buy without the rips, but you wear them years and years, and you earn the rips, the fraying of the denim. You earn that. And that's how you feel about your Camry. So you think, you don't think twice of it, but you think about it often. Odd combination there again, but that is a combination of how your mind works. And you get out of your vehicle without your jacket, a long sleeve shirt. You're wearing khakis because you have to work. Right, you're stopping at this cafe before you go to your 9-hour job. Right, it's not 9 to 5 anymore. It's 8:30 to 5:30, and only a half hour for lunch. That it goes unpaid. Thank you very much, employer, for that employment. But yeah, you're wearing khakis, gray khakis, a sky blue button-down shirt. The top two buttons are undone, so you can see a little bit of your undershirt, and your sleeves are a little bit wrinkly because you're not great at ironing because you're a single man. And what single guy's talented at ironing dress shirts? Not many. Not many that we know here at Verbal Graffiti anyway. And you're wearing shoes, dress shoes that you bought from Macy's. They cost you $112, but they got rubber soles and a square toe, so they're out of fashion. And but you don't know anything about fashion because, again, you're a single guy in your 40s. You hardly ever get your penis wet from a woman, that is, because you're a heterosexual male. So you're wearing these shoes, and the rubber soles on the bottom are almost worn, so you walk with a little lopsided. You should have went with the overpriced, good welted leather shoes that cost $375 that you didn't, but you have a friend who does have those, and they've lasted for over 10 years. And people chastised him. You spent nearly $400 on a pair of shoes, but look at him. He's had them for a decade, and every year and a half you have to go to Macy's.com, that is, and buy a pair of fake dress shoes with a square toe. And you're walking As you're walking towards the front door of this coffee shop that you frequent every morning, you notice a mom, right? A mom wearing a tank top. Very odd. Very odd that she's wearing a tank top when it's only high 30s out. Weather is nice, but not that nice, not that warm. And she has a lot of tattoos. They're faded. You think it might be a snake around her arm. Her appearance, the skin tone, I'm not going to mention it. You can decide for yourself. Is she black? Is she white trash? She's white trash. She's a very white trash. And you know she's trashy because she's scolding her 6-year-old daughter. You estimate six years old because you don't have children of your own. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, those ages are hard to decipher when you're a lonely man without children of your own. But you think the child's 6, and the mother is yelling at her, cursing, vulgarity. Again, this is 7:25 in the morning. And she's yelling at her, chastising her, calling her stupid, just terrible words, terrible language. And you even see a bit of a shove from the mother to the 6-year-old. And it's startling to you because, again, you just want a coffee to wake yourself up, and now you're seeing domestic violence, adult on child violence. Now, you should interrupt. You should tell the mother, hey, don't touch your child. Don't hit your child, especially in public. But you don't. And the reason why you don't do it is because you don't want to get involved. Because, again, this mother just hit her child, this 6-year-old child. She hit her in public, in a parking lot, right in front of you. What would she do to you if you were to interject and make a comment to the mother about her mothering, how she mothers her child? Think about it. She hit that child. That child came out of her vagina 6 years ago. It's her kin, her genes, the love of her life. Now, if she's cursing at her with vulgarity and hitting her child, what is she liable to do to you? And you make the quick calculation that your bean juice, your caffeine addiction is more important than the life of that child. But as you pass the parent and the child, you do think about, wow, that child's life is the chance for success and prosperity in that child's life is very minimal. Chances are she's going to grow up to be white trash, just like her mother, with the faded tattoos on her arm that's wearing a tank top. And that's just life. There's nothing you can do about it, and it makes you feel sad, a little pit in your stomach because you do care. But again, not you don't care enough to interject and maybe save a child's life. But how you can't save every child. But it does linger in the back of your head as you go into the coffee shop that, my goodness, that child she was born into a life of hell, abuse, physically and mentally, and there's really nothing I could do. Well, what can I do? Call DCF, whatever they're called, and then they're going to take the child away and put her in an orphan home, give her to the state. We know what happens in the orphanages. We don't want that to happen to that 6-year-old. So again, you're a man, but you're barely a man because you just watched a child get hit and you didn't do anything about it. But you move forward, and quickly it escapes your mind because you open up the front door to the coffee shop, and it hits you. That beautiful morning smell of coffee, the beans brewing, and you're in your happy spot. This is your spot. Again, you don't own the coffee shop. You don't even remember the name of the coffee shop, but you go there each morning, and you're familiar with the staff, and you recognize the faces. You don't talk to any of them in there because you're a loner. You're a bit of an awkward. You're not ugly, but you aren't an attractive either. And again, you're in your 40s, so you're knocking on the doorstep of invisibility, and as you're in line, there's 3 people in front of you. You're making eye. You're nodding at people who recognize you, but you're looking at the chalk lettering on top. On top that has all the daily specials. You don't know why. Why are you reading those? You get 20 ounces black coffee like a real man every single morning. That's been your order for the last 18 months. All the baristas know your order. They smile. You don't even have to tell them. They sometimes they just bring it out and they have it there waiting for you. It's bliss. But this morning, you're feeling a little frisky. Maybe it was a child getting hit outside that kind of gave you a little pep in your step, in your fake dress shoes from Macy's. But you're there and you see the barista, and you got to admit, you have a crush on her, Right? Yeah. Is her hair, does she have a few too many streaks of blue dye in her hair and a septum piercing? Yeah. Yeah. But again, you're in your early 40s. Yeah, your beggars can't be choosers. And it's been a long time since your penis has been wet from a woman's vagina and or mouth or a-hole if you're into that. So you're waiting in line and you're mustering up the courage to ask her for her phone number or to ask her for her Instagram DM. You're trying to motivate yourself to make a move on the barista that you've had your eye on the last 3 months. She knows your name. You know her name. You know a little bit about her. She knows you have a real job because you come in here every morning in a slacks and a dress shirt, and you're there, and you're getting a little nervous because wow, what if I say hello to this babe, this barista with the septum piercing and the blue hair, but she has a charming personality, a little bit too much on the chin, a little bit too much chubby here, but behind the counter she looks good. She's probably a chubby if you were ever to get her on the other side of the counter, or even perhaps naked if this interaction were to go well in the next few minutes. But hey, again, a vagina is a vagina, right? And a babe is a babe. Is there any difference between one and the other than, 30 to 120 pounds? Probably not. All right, you're a little too in your head, but you're motivating yourself. But you're worried. You're worried. Because if you ask this babe for her number, or to go out on a date, or to get a drink, a drink with alcohol after dusk when it's actually dark out, not early morning, and she says no, what do? You're going to have to find a new coffee shop to go to. But this coffee shop has the best coffee in town. They get their beans from Maine, 4 or 5 states away. This is a local spot. They know their coffee. This isn't Starbucks. This isn't Dunkin'. All right, this is the best coffee in town. Maybe the best coffee in the state in which you reside. And if you say hello to this babe, you ask her out on a date and she says no, you can't come in the next morning because every time you look at her, she's going to think that you're leering at her and it's going to be awkward in your head and you're going to have to leave right away after getting your coffee. You're never going to be able to sit down and enjoy a pastry while you have that 20-ounce black coffee. So you're battling back and forth. And be honest with us, you've been battling back and forth since she started working here at this cafe. But this is the morning. Again, it's late 30s. You're feeling good. You're not the child that just got slapped across the face. Your face is nice, clean shaven. So you're all right. All right. I'm wearing a button down. All right. Yeah. Is my undershirt a bit exposed because I'm not wearing a tie? It's not the best look. But I'm together. I'm employed. And then another person's in line. So you're right. You're the next customer. And the other one, she's ordering an $8.50 drink that's basically a milkshake. And that's why she has a muffin top. And as you're judging her for her drink, she moves aside, and here it is. Here it is. You're gonna say hello to this babe, and she says hello. She says your name, and you're like, okay, how you doing? And I don't want to give you her name because we don't say names here at Verbal Graffiti. We ain't no rats. And as you're discussing, you're like, hey, you know what? You have a great personality. I love the way you run the shop. Would you like to get a drink sometime? Maybe this weekend? Are you free? And then there's a pause. And you know, in your gut, because you've been rejected before, a pause. When you make a hit on a babe, never a good sign. Never a good sign. Especially when she's employed and forced to be there right in front of you. And your gut feeling is rewarded because it is correct. She says, "Oh, thank you so much. I'm real busy with school right now. Are you? And you don't say this to her, but in your mind, you say, you're a barista. You work 5 hours in the morning. You're going to community college. You're really too busy with schoolwork. Can't you just vagina up and tell me I'm not attractive enough for you? That you're not interested in me and my button-down shirt and slack pants? Can't you just tell me that? Like a real woman with a vagina? You can't do that?" But no, she rejects you. She rejects you. And then there's that awkwardness. Oh, wow, okay. I still need to get my 20-ounce black coffee. I should have waited till after you handed me the coffee to make the move on you. But now, after this failed interaction hitting on you, I still want my 20-ounce coffee because I'm an addict to the bean juice. I need that caffeine. I got to go work 9 hours with a half-hour lunch break. So you're kind of waiting there like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't, I know you're working. I know it's just unprofessional. I'm so sorry. But in your head, you're like, fuck, I'm such a fucking idiot. Why did I do this? She's got to be, what, 32 at the oldest? That's a 10-year age gap. I'm such a fucking retard. Why'd I make this move? I don't even say the word retard, but I'm calling myself a retard. Why am I doing it? Oh, I ruined the favorite part of my day. And as you're going, she's turning around. And of course, you can't see her, but she rolls her eyes back at another barista there who's not as attractive as her. And their eye contact, even though you can't see, with their eyes, they're going, oh, fuck, another dweeb just asked me out. Oh, when is this shift going to be over? And, she gives you your 20 ounce of coffee. You go outside. And, you go back in your car, you turn on the radio, your Bluetooth isn't working. And then it just hits you. I'm going to have to get coffee at Dunkin' tomorrow. Why am I even living? What am I doing this all for? All right, let's move on. All right, this next one comes from the subreddit. If I can open up my phone. This comes from the subreddit. Entitled Parents. My dad accused me of showing off because I parallel parked without needing help. He was sitting in the passenger seat because we were grabbing groceries together. I parallel parked. One attempt, clean, perfect. Instead of nice job, this man goes, you didn't have to do it so fast. It looked like you were trying to impress someone. Unquote. Impress who? The 7-Eleven cashier? The pigeons? 3 question marks in a row? I was like, I just parked. He goes, you young people always perform. Brother in Christ, I just put the car between 2 lines. Energy shift here. This is one of those Reddit posts where actually I agree with both of you, the daughter and the father. You're both right. This has been building. Your reaction goes beyond the parallel park, and your father's reaction goes beyond the parallel park that you did. And let's be honest. Let's be honest. Like, the parallel park you did do it fast. You were performing. This could have been a scene in Fast and Furious 25, whenever that comes out. When The Rock, if he's still doing it, I've never seen one of those Fast and Furious films. Anyway, but you were doing it to perform, to show your father that you're better than him. And he was right to call you out. But it's been building on both sides, and it came to a head in the 7-Eleven parking lot. And I think you're both right to act and to believe what you believe. Because from your perspective, your father's never loved you. Like, he's loved you, but begrudgingly. Oh, he only loves you because half of you is him, genes-wise, and society puts pressure on fathers to love their daughters. But you can tell from the look in his eyes since you were 6 years old that he didn't tell you, but he's always been disappointed that you weren't a boy. And you could tell that with the look he gives you. With those eyes, it's a look of disappointment. And it's been there your entire life, and it's been festering since you were 6 years old. And anytime you want anything from your father, he was there. He didn't give it to you. When you were 8 years old and you wanted dance classes, you wanted to learn how to dance because all your schoolmates were doing it, he said, no, we don't have the money for it. And then when you were in middle school and you wanted to join a peewee of football and hockey, and you were really getting into sports, your father said, no, those are boy sports. Football, hockey, they wear pads. You're a lady. But then you go to your father, oh, but I tried dancing. That's a girl thing, but you wouldn't pay for that. And now I want to do football, and you won't let me do that either. And your father didn't really have a rebuttal. But again, you're not a boy, so he didn't allow you to play football or hockey on the girls' team or maybe the boys' teams, that's angered you. It's angered you, and he's always, and when you start driving, 15, 16, 17 years old, and he was in the passenger seat giving you lessons, he was always he was kind of poking you, letting you know, you're not man, you're not good enough driver as I am. And anything you did, it wasn't good enough for your father. And he never showed you the love, the affection that you wanted. And it's building up year after year. And then finally, when you're driving to 7-Eleven, maybe you're 22, this is the time you get to prove to your father that you're more man than he'll ever be. And you parallel parked better than your father ever has. And you played it off like it was nothing. Like it was, you scored you scored a touchdown Super Bowl. No dance. You handed the football to the referee and you walked to the sideline. You didn't even look at your coach. It's like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm the man, or in your case, you're the lady. But you hot dogged that park job, which I don't blame you for doing it because this has been building up, and you deserve to hot dog it in front of your father. Now maybe, but the fact that your father wouldn't acknowledge what an amazing job that parallel park is, and the fact that he called a spade a spade. He called you out on performing. That makes you even more angry at your father and the patriarchy than you've ever been. It makes you clench your fist and want to throw a 7-Eleven hot dog against the door. That's how angry you are in that moment. All justified, by the way. All justified. I don't blame you one bit. But I don't blame your father either for giving you a pat on the back, telling you you did a great job, and offering to buy you a Slurpee when you go into 7-Eleven. He can't do that. It's not his build. A better father would. My dad probably would have. Maybe your father would have. But this lady's father, he's not that guy. Again, he wanted a son. And again, this is a thing. I'm not a father. But I do know how fathers think. Don't ask me how. I got 2 balls. That's how I'm able to do so. But fathers, they can't give in to their sons and daughters. Like once your daughter or your son or your offspring, once they beat you at the thing you've always beaten them at, they can't accept that defeat. Whether it's you're playing, for me, it was like playing basketball with my brother and dad. Once I got to a point where I was able to beat them, they couldn't acknowledge it. All right, you got lucky. I was a little under the weather. I sprained my ankle. I've beaten you the last 500 times. I let you win to build your confidence. I did it for you. I let you win. And for me, it was basketball. Maybe for you, it was board games or street hockey or chess or driving a car, whatever it may be. The father, there's going to come a time in a father's life where his son or daughter beats him at whatever activity it is that the two of you do together that he's beating you at for over a decade. But when that day comes, when that game comes, when that parallel parking comes, he can't acknowledge it. Because if he does acknowledge that you beat him, or that you're better than him, or you're a better parker than him, your father has no manhood left if he admits that defeat to you. Because look at where he's at in life. His wife doesn't fuck him. Your mom, you love your mom. Your mom doesn't love your dad, though, and they don't fuck. His employer overlooks him every time. Every time there's a promotion to be had, your father doesn't get it because your employer does not respect your dad. That's why he's stuck where he is employment-wise and has been since the time you were 12 years old. His friends, he doesn't talk to his friends anymore. And you don't love your dad. You hate your dad. And your dad's upset you weren't a boy, but he can't say it out loud. So he's got nothing. All he had in life was that he was a better driver than his daughter. And now that's gone. He knows it. You know it. But he can't acknowledge it. Now, a mature father would silently go, oh, she's better than me. And let it be. And have no words be said. Now, he's not as mature as many fathers. So he said you were hot dogging it, performing for him, which is an accurate statement. The more proper thing to do, though, like I just said, is to say nothing. He went the more immature route, but hey, that's the route he goes. But he can't acknowledge that you're a better parallel parker than he is. Because if he does that, he's got nothing in life. And honestly, he's got nothing in life. And your life's ahead of you. But again, you're young and spry. So do the parallel park. All right? What you should have done, instead of after your dad said, well, all you young kids know how to perform, you shouldn't have said anything. It's just when both of you got out of your car, you should have just patted him on the backside or the back of the shoulder. Go, hey, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, that passive aggressiveness, that was a move you should have done. Or both of you are right in your behavior, but you're both wrong with how you're reacting to the behavior. And that's the parallel park. And as for me, because again, this is verbal graffiti, it always goes back to the B-man and how I behave in that situation. I do a lot of stand-up comedy. So I'm driving to a lot of cities, downtown areas, and I have to do a lot of street parking. And over the years, I've gotten pretty good at parallel parking. Now, I won't push it. I will only parallel park if I'm confident I could get my car, which might be a 2011 Camry. That actually isn't mine, but I could get it in between the two spots, between the two cars. Like, it's got to be a wide spot. We're talking Bonnie Blue's vagina. It's got to be that wide, and I know I got to be able to get in. And if I fuck up, I finagle it where I can come out and return the wheel, and maybe I need to have enough space where if I go 4 or 5 times, back forth, if I get in, I get in. But I'm pretty good if I have a wide space. Now, if I get it in, first try, like you did, a one try, clean, perfect, I'm looking for acknowledgement from everybody and anybody. If I'm in a car with somebody, I go, do you see that? I won't give them time to give me a compliment before I compliment myself and say, hey, did you see that? Like, if you're in the passenger seat, when I parallel park and I do it one time, clean, perfect, I'm going to tell you I did so, and I'm going to tell you should compliment me for doing so. That's where I'm at with my parallel parking. And when I get out of the car, after parallel parking perfect the first time, I'm looking for an acknowledgement from strangers walking by, driving by. I'm pointing my hand, my finger, going, hey, did you see that? First try, parallel park. B-man, I'm a man. And I'm not being hyperbolic. There have been times when I'm yelped across the street. And it's been a couple babies ago, and they thought I was like, what's that term called? Like hollering at them. I forget the term, but they thought I was hitting on them. No, I've just been, hey, I just parallel parked. I want you to know. And I've gotten plenty of look like, what was that? It's just, hey, parallel parking ain't easy. It is a skill that should be acknowledged. From passengers and strangers walking by alike. But there have been plenty of times also, I will admit defeat, where I've been a bit too confident in my ability to parallel park, where the space was not as wide as I thought, or maybe I was just feeling cocky that day, where I go to back in and I realize, oh fuck, I can't, like I'm just too much towards the sidewalk, or my angle is wrong. And you try to, and you, I can't, this isn't going to happen. So you have to wait for traffic to go by. And then you got to do like the shame and just get out, and I'll drive 5 blocks away. Like, I'll drive a mile away and park somewhere else where I know, or at least I'm comfortable, I know where nobody saw me do the fail parallel park 5 blocks prior. And then I got to do a walk of shame to whatever venue it is I'm doing stand-up comedy at. And that is a walk of shame. When you fail at parallel parking, drive 3 blocks, park somewhere else, and then have to walk a lot longer than you would have had to if you knew how to parallel park properly, that's a walk of shame. And I've had to do that more times than I care to admit. And that's why when I do a successful parallel park, I want credit. I want acknowledgement. So I don't think you're wrong for wanting acknowledgement for doing a good job. Just love all around here at Verbal Graffiti. Let's go look at something. I'm going to keep this episode moving along and get to the next segment quickly because my nostrils are burning. They're flaming right now. Not because I just did cocaine, it's been well documented. The B-Man, I don't do cocaine yet. Who knows what the future holds, especially with AI? I don't know. I can't tell you I'll never do it. Right now, I can tell you I've never done it. That's as far as I'll go. I've had a runny nose all day. I got to the point where I had so much snot coming out of my nose that I was so sick and annoyed of blowing my nose that I took tissue paper and I shoved them up my nose. Like I just got punched in the nose and had blood flowing. So I just shoved those up there and had the snots seep into the tissue, and then it exchanged them out every half hour or so. And so I'm burning. My face is, this face, I've been told plenty of time, I look like a penis head. Right? My face looks like the shape of a penis head, that is. I take that as a compliment, right? Because babes love penis. So if my head looks like a penis, like that makes me the most fuckable guy that all the babes could ever want. But again, I'm a weirdo like that. So let's move along. All right. And please remember to like, subscribe, share my phone number, 203-500-7816 with a busty cousin that you have between the ages of 23 and 28 who likes pale white men in their early 40s with the head that's similar to a penis. All right, moving forward. This next one comes from the subreddit Forever Alone Women. Men who claim that if women make the first move, they'll never get rejected are ridiculous and lying through their teeth. I swear, the way men lie so shamelessly is insane. This whole belief that women who shoot their shot never get rejected comes from the idea that, to them, ugly women basically don't exist. They can't even fathom that we exist. So when they imagine a woman making the first move, they picture their dream girl or at least someone pretty or average. I am tall, I have small boobs, and a flat ass. I know damn well that's not what they're imagining when they say men never reject women, or men aren't picky. Men judge women as unattractive based on height, ethnicity, weight, body type, even hair color, and then seriously act like they'd accept every woman. Stop lying. Our poster here, she's not wrong. It's spot on. Keeping it a buck. We used to call that keeping it 100, but we had to change the lingo because too many uncool uglies were using the term keep it 100. So now we say keep it a buck. Or maybe something. Anyway, she's not wrong. I can't argue with her. I'll go one step further. I'll judge a woman and her attractiveness and whether I'll accept her advance towards me based on far more than what this flat-chested, flat-assed, tall lady just said. Like if you're wearing a knockoff handbag, if your second, especially if your second toe is longer than your big toe, I'm going to reject you. If you have moles on your arms, I'm going to reject you. If you have arm hair, immediate rejection. The reason being, because if you have arm hair, that means you're not taking care of your pubic hair. That's street code 101. That's common sense. Oh, if you have hair on your arm or a little bit above your mustache, that your pubic hair is going into your inner thighs. Don't like that. Like pubic hair, not that much pubic hair. If I notice your legs aren't freshly shaved, gonna reject you. If I don't like your fashion, I'm gonna reject you. If you have a horse mouth, if you have too much gum showing, that's what I call horse mouth. When you have too much of your gums showing, that's unappealing to me. Instant rejection. Don't even care if you have a great personality. If it's glowing, don't care. Gonna reject you. If you have split ends in your hair, gonna reject you. If I don't like your makeup, gonna reject you. If I think your mom and your sisters are ugly, I'm gonna reject you. I'm going out of my way to reject you. This is all in my head. All right, this is all in my head. I don't get the chance, the opportunity to reject the babes very often. But this lady is spot on. Sorry, this babe, this flat-chested babe. Do we even call her a babe if she's flat-chested? Let's be generous. This is episode 212. After all. And then guys, us Johns, when we imagine a babe coming up to us to say hello, to chat us up, to try to get in our pants, to get our penis, yeah, she's spot on. We're imagining whatever body, hair, ethnicity type we fancy. So she's not wrong with that assessment. It's strange. I can't really speak to guys rejecting women, babes, that is, men rejecting babes, because I don't see it very often. It's happened to me. I've had the opportunity to reject a babe face to face. It's so infrequently, I don't even know a number, maybe 3 or 4 times, no more than 5 times my entire life. And I'll tell you this. I don't know how to reject a woman. The few times, babe, why do I keep saying woman? Oh, am I starting to respect the opposite sex? Oh, please say it ain't so. But I'll say that I don't know how to reject a babe because it happens so infrequently that I'm put in that spot on the spot that I become speechless. I start to stutter much more than I do here. Because I don't want to be rude, but I also I don't want to fuck you, so I don't want to prolong the conversation longer than it has to be. So it puts me in an awkward spot of trying to reject you, but do so politely, but not having the skill set to do so. Where it's probably, to the babe, the few times it has happened, it's probably evident right away. Oh, he has no interest in me romantically. And the longer I prolong the rejection or the conversation, the more awkward and just giving her the heebie-jeebies and just saying no. And because of that, the few times I've had to reject the babe, again, because I didn't want to put my penis inside of her. I have a profound respect. Not that it means anything, having this respect, but I do have a profound respect for the babes who reject me in such a way that doesn't make me hurt my feelings. That is a skill set. Being able to reject a member of the opposite sex when they hit on you and do so politely is a skill set I don't have. So whenever it's done to me, I'm almost in awe of the rejection, where I've never done it, but going forward, what I'm going to do, if I have the money on me, if you reject me and do so in a polite manner or a kind-hearted way, I'm going to give you $20. If we're at a bar, I'm going, hey, Thank you for that rejection. You did it very professionally, very kindly, warm-heartedly. Here's $20. I'm going to leave you alone. Buy a drink for you and your friend. That was wonderful. I hope nothing for the best from you for the rest of your life. And I really do mean that, because that is a skill set that the babes have that the guys don't have. It is knowing how to reject somebody, because babes probably have to deal with it more than the guys, although maybe not the ugly babes, because they're not getting hit on very much either. But I do know, because we've mentioned this many times before. I don't do very well on dating apps anymore. I did when I was 30. The sweet spot for the B-man was like 28 to 35. I did really well on the dating apps. The B-man, I fucked. I used to fuck on those streets. But now that I'm in my early 40s, I barely get any attention. There are barely any matches, barely any real conversations. A real life intimacy comes from the apps. But as you also know, the B-man, I like to fuck, right? I like to throat fuck some babes. I like to lick pussy. I like to sniz. So how do you do that? How do you get that when you're not getting attention on the apps? Well, that means I got to hit on babes in real life, in the wild, as some of them call it. So I will hit on a babe, metaphorically speaking, that is, at comedy clubs, at bars, at restaurants, on the street. If I'm feeling courageous, if I'm feeling that aura, that vibe, if I just plucked my eyebrows and I'm feeling myself, I will go up to a babe in public and try to hit on her and get a date with her. So I've dealt with rejection, plenty of it over the years. And I've dealt with positive rejection and rejection that makes me feel subhuman. Let's go through that's not all the scenarios, but there's a polite way to do it where you go, oh, I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend, or I'm on a break, or like, oh my God, thank you very much. Wow, thank you for complimenting my blouse or whatever, but I'm just not interested. And there's a polite way to do it. And that's the skill. That's the skill set. I just say, man, when that happens, I'm more impressed with her than I would have been if she gave me her number. If we went out on a date, that level, that politeness with the rejection is a skill set that should be acknowledged. Thank you for having that skill set, for those of you who reject the men out there. But here's also the other side. There have been babes who will, especially if they're with their other girlfriends, they'll laugh at you. They'll literally laugh at the B-man and go, who are you? Or if we're like on a street, when I was in New York City, living there, I used to hit on girls on the street, like Midtown Manhattan, where I worked. I'd hit on babes during my lunch hour, kind of that pickup artist stuff, and it would work. 1 out of 10, I used to do the math, I'd end up getting a date out of it, and maybe get some sneeze. But a lot of times, like the babes, they'd run away. Like I'd go, hey, I noticed you, and they'd run away. But more often than not now, what I'm noticing is when I go up to a babe or a group of babes at a bar or like a restaurant where I just did stand-up, and even like before I've done stand-up, so they before they know I'm not funny on stage, the babes will give me a look of disgust before I even get to them. They see me walking towards their group, and it just, their face says it all. It's a level of disgust, and that face is what makes me feel worse than any other type of rejection. And it's probably true for all you other Johns out there. You know the face. It's why are you ruining our evening? What made you think you were at our level where you could come up to our table and interrupt our conversation? And I get it. I'm interrupting your evening. But again, I'm the B-man. I'm the best thing that's ever going to come in your life. And you don't even know it, honey. So, but that look at like, who are you? And to them, I'll call it out. I'm at the point now in my elderly statesman age where I'll call it, hey, I'm just a normal guy. Like, I know you don't know I'm the B-man, like the B-man, but at this point, I'm just a normal guy. Like, what's the sourpuss face for? All right. And then I'll go, oh, I could tell by your face that you're not interested in me at all, and I'll keep it moving. Because again, I'm not trying to waste anybody's time. I'm not trying to make anyone feel uncomfortable. Well, why the fuck am I talking about me? This is about you. You're right. You're right. Same thing with the babes. It goes both ways. When you envision somebody coming up to you, hitting on you, you envision an attractive person, whatever that is to you. Same thing with the guys. If we're going to get approached in our dreams, it's, oh, wow. Oh, that busty Latina. Fantastic. It's usually not. She usually has a big boil on the top of her head. So, you're right. We don't see you because you're unattractive. You babes out there. Same with us, the uglies. Yeah. So we're lonely together. So in your case, you're spot on. Why even bother going up to a John? You just say to yourself, you're tall, you're flat-chested, you have a flat ass, which I find that's so funny to me that there are babes out there, many of them, probably more than 50%, they look at their ass in the mirror and go, this ain't it. No guy would ever want this. It's like, it's your ass. You're born with what you got. Like, why fixate on that? I have a terrible ass. It's flat, it's pancakes, there's hair between it. I don't lose sleep over it. Doesn't stop me from going up to a babe who's way more attractive than I am. Just go out there. But I understand your point. Because life is life. Or you're flat-chested, you're tall, pale skin, no ass. You go up to 1,000 guys, you're probably going to get rejected 1,000 times. So why go through the humiliation ritual? Just get yourself a Hitachi wand and get yourself off. And save yourself the heartache, the embarrassment, the hurt feelings of going up to Johns in public and saying hello. Go suck a fat one.